Hi, John Wright here for Wilcom Discovery. In this video I'd like to look at converting images directly to embroidery automatically. In this case we're going to look at a vector file, so we'll open a new template up and make sure we've got Use Auto Fabric turned on and select the fabric. OK, and we'll just select and go to the CorelDRAW graphics side of the program and import an image. Now in this case, as I mentioned, it will be a vector file. So it's just one that I've got from the computer that comes with your sample embroidery. So if I click and drag onto the screen and release, that'll resize this image. Now it's a vector file, exactly the same sort of file as we produce in the EMB, and that's why we can do this. So I simply hit the convert button and there is the object fully stitched and ready to go. Of course you can come in and change any of the settings that you'd like to. In fact, if you go to if you resize the object, which I've duplicated and I'll resize one, you'll see as I've made that image smaller, the underlay properties in the smaller image are different to those in the larger image. And that's because the Auto Fabric assistant has said at this size we only need a center on underlay. But if I choose another fabric, the software will alter those underlay settings. Now we've got an edge on underlay simply because we've selected another fabric. We can select the object, an object from the larger item, and change its settings by choosing another fabric. So the Auto Fabric Assistant will change your underlays, pull compensation and densities depending on the size and the type of fabric that the garment's going on. Okay, now let's step it up a bit and we're going to convert something much more difficult, a bitmap. And what I've done here is I've gone to the internet, and this is on the wilcom.com site. It was a blog recently about converting a vector file to stitches, which is what we've just done. But I'm going to make it more difficult. I'm going to screen capture this image off the net, so it'll be a bitmap file. To do that, I'm going to use the snipping tool, which we've all got in our Windows program. And I'm just going to screen capture that logo. Okay, I'll copy it to the clipboard. Then I'll come back into EmbroideryStudio, go to the CorelDRAW side of the software, and paste that image in. So edit, paste, or Control V. So there's the bitmap. Now, the other step that we didn't have to do before is we're going to trace it. Now what Corel does is trace this and creates another image. So it retains the bitmap and produces a vector file for us as well. And you can change a lot of settings over here on the right hand side if you care to, or if you need to. Okay, so we're back in the Corel work area. I'm just going to ungroup everything and I'll drag the vector file off the top of the bitmap file. There are actually two files, one hidden behind the other. So I just dragged up the vector file, and if you look in closely you'll see how much sharper, oops, I'm having trouble there focusing that, you'll see how much sharper the top image is. The edges of the vector file are much sharper than the bitmap. Now looking at this, I know that we've got this font in our system, so I'm just going to delete the lettering. Then select the vector image that we've just traced and hit the convert button. We're exactly where we were with the mandarin before, so we'll go straight back into EmbroideryStudio, and it's converted to stitches that quickly. And again, the Auto Fabric Assistant will have assigned the appropriate stitch density, pull compensation and underlay for the particular fabric that this design is going on. Now to produce the lettering, you've got 170 ESA or house fonts with the software, plus all of the Windows fonts that you have on your computer. The EmbroideryStudio will convert to type fonts. So I've just dragged our automatically digitized design up on top of the bitmap as a guide or a template. Now I'll just go into our lettering properties box, choose a Dell font, and create text. Now I haven't bothered to check on size or anything. It's coming quite small, so I can just drag it up and manipulate the font till it sits on top of our template. So the other thing I've done here, it's all coming as a blue. So I'm just going to break those two words apart. That's a new feature in ES. We can break the words apart without losing the font properties, and I'll change them to the appropriate color. So there it is, converting either a vector or a bitmap file in Embroidery Studio is pretty easy and very accurate.